Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, core faculty for the College of Health Sciences and Public Policy with a joint faculty appointment at Ross University School of Medicine. When I opened this document, I did not anticipate that it would be 3,068 pages. I was quite shocked. However, we need to put forth all our efforts and trying to make sure to not get to that 1.5 by 2040 goal. So what are some of the, for instance, carbon dioxide mitigation that can take place? Methane is another offender in terms of global warming and needs to be addressed as well. So the warmest thanks from Hans Otto Portner, and then Deborah Roberts is also another one to thank for this huge undertaking of putting this together. And of course, the Intergovernmental Climate Change Bureau actually provided some more contributing factors. Now, this was dedicated to two people, and I want to acknowledge how much they've been helpful. Robert, I think it's Robert Scholes, and then unfortunately Rebecca Mary Bernadette Harris also passed away. So deepest condolences to them. And then after that there goes, and again I encourage you to take a look at this, but summary for policymakers, which is interesting. And I'm not going to go through the whole document, but the idea is to understand. For instance, what I encourage you to do is go into this introduction, go to the table of contents, and if you're interested in one specifically, then there is actually a website where there is divided by chapters, so that you need to just go to one. Scientific evidence, concept of risk, understanding, and then risk provides a framework of hazards, exposure, and vulnerability. Again, adaptation plays a key role, and this is a diagram figure that is very revealing in terms of how the biodiversity is affected. So I encourage you to go over this. Again, always the figures provide contextual evidence to understand global warming. So going through 3,068 pages is well beyond the scope of my talk or my video. You can actually skim through these and see what was stated. So for instance, impact of climate change are observed in many ecosystems and human systems. So we can of course mention confidence, like for instance high or very high is and in different countries this is the case, and then there's different types of changes in ecosystem structure, and then species range shifts. So this can go into impacts on health and well-being, impacts on water scarcity, and impacts on cities. So climate change has adversely affected physical health of people globally and mental health of people in the assessed regions. Climate change impacts on health are mediated through natural and human systems, including economic and social conditions and disruptions. In all regions, extreme heat events, now El Nino is one of them, have resulted in human mortality and morbidity increase, and the occurrence of climate-related foodborne and waterborne disease has increased. So this is, again, vulnerability is an important concept. Risks in the near term: global warming reaching 1.5 degrees in the near term would cause unavoidable increases in multiple climate hazards and present multiple risks. Mid to long-term risk: beyond 2040, depending on the level of global warming, climate change will lead to numerous risks to natural and human systems. 127 identified key risks. Assessed mid and long-term impacts are up to multiple times higher than currently observed high let's take a look here. So this figure I showed in another slide, but again, this is looking at some of the reasons for concern. So if the reason for concern is low, but more widespread, then unique and threatened systems are not always mitigated. So these are very high impact. When you have 1 is not as bad, 2, 3 risk factors, 4 risk factors, and then 5 large scale, not able to handle sort of the impact from global and regional risks. So global warming actually affects these areas. So I'm just scrolling down and want to make sure that this is not a long video or audio. Another one that I want to leave you with is progress in adaptation and implementation has been observed across all sectors and regions, generating multiple benefits. However, adaptation progress is unevenly distributed, with observed adaptation gaps. So many initiatives prioritize immediate and near-term climate risk reduction, which reduces the opportunity for transformational adaptation. So this is very important, and I think something of prioritization of initiatives is extremely important. I've actually, with collaborators, written about the importance of not only sustainability, but also understanding just how much adaptation is needed. There's feasible and effective adaptation options. So there's a lot of pages in this document, and I encourage you to go through the policy and all of the chapters, all of each one of the 5 chapters. Go through those and then take a look at them as many times as you want, and listen to this video at the same time, audio, to make sure that you're able to access this. Thank you for listening.